First sighting, Fresno, California, 2007. The Fresno Nightcrawlers were first brought to public attention via surveillance camera video, recorded in 2007 by a Fresno resident named Jose, last name withheld. He had set up the camera to find out what was causing his dogs to bark at night. What the footage revealed shocked him, and later, cryptid enthusiasts around the world. What they look like. The creatures in the video appear to be extremely thin and tall, with long, stilt-like legs and very short torsos, possibly with no arms, white or pale in color, walking with a fluid, gliding motion, almost as if drifting, estimated to be around 3 to 4 feet tall, though some claim larger versions exist. The things that walk at night. May 2025. I didn't come to Fresno looking for anything supernatural. I came because someone had to deal with my uncle's property. He'd passed away in January, quietly without much notice. The house had been empty since 2021. He never sold it, never rented it. Just let it sit there on the far edge of town, where the subdivision started to blur into farmland and dry creek beds. I was the closest living relative with time, and no kids to drag along, so the job of clearing out his house fell to me. I drove in from Portland and arrived on a cloudy Sunday morning. I half expected the place to be crumbling, but it was mostly intact. Weathered siding, dust-choked gutters, a sagging porch, but nothing that couldn't be fixed. The worst of it was a yard, ankle-high weeds, a few dead citrus trees, and thorny vines curling up through broken fencing. I didn't know much about this part of Fresno. The street was quiet. Some houses were lived in, others not. The one next door to the right was boarded up. The one on the left belonged to an older woman named Mrs. Alvarez. She came out while I was unloading boxes and stood by her fence. "You're staying there?" she asked. I nodded and introduced myself. She didn't smile, just said, "Be careful. The backyard isn't safe after dark." Then she turned and went back inside. I figured she was warning me about coyotes or maybe kids sneaking around. I didn't think much of it. The first 3 nights were uneventful. I brought in groceries, sorted through old papers, and aired out rooms that smelled like dust and old carpet. I slept in the living room with my sleeping bag, a fan, and my phone charger. The electricity still worked, surprisingly. On the 4th day, I found a motion-activated security camera in a box labeled Garage Tools. It was cheap and old, but I got it running and mounted on the back porch light bracket, facing the overgrown backyard. Not because I was afraid, but just to be cautious. A neighbor had mentioned seeing a bobcat once, and there were plenty of hiding spots back there. That night at 3:12 a.m., I got a notification. Motion detected. I opened the app, expecting to see a raccoon or maybe wind pushing to the vines. Instead, I saw something I still can't fully explain. 2 shapes were moving across the yard. Thin, white, almost stick-like. They glided more than they walked, with this fluid, rhythmic motion, knees bending high and slowly, like slow-motion stilts. One was taller, maybe 4 feet, the other a little smaller. They didn't look human, but they didn't look animal either. I couldn't see heads or arms. Just long, impossibly thin legs and some kind of soft glow, like moonlight clinging to them. They crossed the yard in 18 seconds. I watched the video 3 times. I didn't sleep again that night. The next morning, I walked the perimeter. No footprints, no broken branches. The dirt near the back fence was soft, but it looked untouched. I even tried walking the same path they took, just to see if I could replicate the movement. I couldn't, not even close. Their stride was too long, too deliberate. That evening, I left the camera running again. I wasn't sure what I wanted. Proof? Reassurance that it was a trick of the light? They came back. This time, they moved more slowly. One of them stopped near the edge of the porch light's reach. It turned, though not in any way I could describe. The top of the legs just rotated toward the house. No face, no eyes, but I swear it saw me. I was awake, sitting in the dark, watching through the slats in the blinds. It stayed there for maybe 5 seconds before continuing its glide toward the trees. I didn't show the video to anyone until 2 days later. A friend of mine back in Oregon, Brent, is deep into weird phenomena. UFOs, old government experiments, folklore. He's a skeptical believer, if that makes sense. I sent him both videos. He called me within an hour. "You ever heard of the Fresno Nightcrawlers?" he asked. I hadn't. He started rattling off details. Sightings from 2007 and 2011, the original grainy security cam footage, and how no one had ever debunked them cleanly. "They look like walking pants," he said, half laughing. "But no one's sure what they are. Spirits, aliens, forest watchers, something else. And get this, every time they show up, it's near trees, near water, land that doesn't feel settled." Then he asked where I was. When I told him the location, he went quiet. "Dude, you're less than a mile from the San Joaquin River." That night, I didn't sleep. I turned off the porch light and just sat there in the dark, waiting. At exactly 2:48 a.m., the camera chimed. They came again, but something had changed. There were 3 of them now. The tallest one came closest to the house. It stood motionless for nearly 10 seconds at the edge of the grass, almost like it was listening, or waiting for something. The smallest one lingered near the fence. The third just circled. Not walked, circled. Its motion felt rehearsed, ritualistic. I didn't record that time. I couldn't. Watching them live felt invasive, like I wasn't supposed to see it, like filming a funeral or a prayer. When they left, I felt cold, deep in my chest, like the air had been sucked out of the room. The next morning, I found something at the base of the back fence, a clean circle of dirt, perfectly round, about a foot wide. The grass inside was dead. Everything else around it was untouched. I didn't tell anyone about that. On May 21st, I told Mrs. Alvarez what I'd seen. She didn't look surprised, just asked how many. 3, I said. She nodded like that confirmed something. They don't hurt people, not on purpose, but they don't like to be watched. Don't go outside again after midnight. She left something on my porch that night, a brown paper bag with sage red thread and a handwritten note that said, "Stay inside. They're older than us." Tonight is May 22nd, my last night here. The paperwork is signed. The house goes on the market tomorrow morning. I'm sleeping with the curtains drawn, every door locked. The camera is off, not because I'm afraid, because I don't want to interrupt whatever it is they're doing. Sometimes I think about what Brent said. These things show up when the land's restless. The droughts, the sinkholes, the rivers drying up. It's like something under the surface is shifting, waking. And maybe these things, the night crawlers, aren't just watching. Maybe they're warning us.